Hello Internet and welcome to another episode of Pokemon TFG Figure Reviews. This is such an awesome one because I finally have completed the next quest set. Yes. If you go back a couple videos, I was trying to ask around, see if I can find people who were looking for, or just had, the Abra and the Skarmory, who are both finally here. We're going to take a look at them in just a bit. And Abra was the last one for me and finally came in today. So this is really awesome. Finally get to show the last chunk of the Next Quest figures. Though there is one figure that I do not have yet technically that's in Next Quest, and it's a promo. It's the Judge figure. It's just a guy, looks like a referee. So technically he's not here. If I do ever get one, I'll throw him into another video just for some funsies. But Next Quest-wise, we're done. So let's hop right into this with, alphabetically, the guy, main event, who has just shown up today. Hello, Abra. How are you? I was actually kind of spooked when he came in because he was broken off of his base. Oh, so scared. It's like, it doesn't matter how much you warn sellers. Sometimes things are just gonna come in broken. So that is always a shame with the Next Quest set. Really love this Abra figure here. He's so incredibly detailed. It's just fantastic. I really love the detail. If you look from this angle, you can even see they painted red in his open mouth that you would probably never see otherwise. You've really got to get up and close and personal to even notice things like that, like the crevices in his fingers and his hips. His shoulders actually have a shiny plastic, or maybe it is a plastic. It's like an acrylic paint. And the rest of his body is actually sprayed, so it looks really nice. He's just kind of chilling right here. That's pretty much all Abra does before he teleports away. Screws you over as you try and capture him. So, attack-wise in this game, I remember looking at this earlier because Abra is probably the best 3-movement pointer you can pick. I'm not so sure about that, at least Next Quest-wise. I think he's one of the best ones you can pick. Because he almost has an entire 50% purple right here, 3-star priority, which is teleport. Abra moves exactly 2 spaces, ignoring blocking Pokemon. You can just send this thing straight for the goal, and there's like nothing they could do about it. He's got a huge chunk of blue over here as well, slip away, returns to the bench and has weight. Though he will survive, the downside is you'll have to keep sending him back to the bench if you do hit that, and pound 10. So obviously that is probably what is going to kill Abra. It's like the only way to actually take this thing down. And like I said before, 3 movement points. Really incredible. So if any of you guys out there are digging up these figures and actually want to play with your friends with these things, I recommend the Abra. The only problem with the Abra, he's really, really rare. So as you've probably seen in my video for the EX rare Next Quest figures, those are really easy to get. These rares, however, are the hardest ones to get. As I've said, some of these were very, very difficult for me to get. The only way to actually get this Abra figure is in the random slots in the packages you can get for the booster packs. He has to be a concealed one. There's no other way to get this Abra. It is really ridiculous. So you either have to find someone who's got one already, or open up a ton of packs, which probably a better idea to find someone who's got one. Really, really crazy to get some of these rares. So good luck in those. That's really all I can say. This next one, Absol here, actually is a little bit easier to get. You could find it in an individually wrapped package, so you didn't have to get it in a concealed one. The pose is alright. I mean, there's nothing super special about this Absol. I really like Absol as a Pokemon, but this one kind of looks a little strange to me. I don't know why. Maybe it's the slightly cross-eyedness and the very big paws thing. I'm not sure, but I really do like Absol as a Pokemon. It's really, really quite powerful, especially. So this one here, I actually think I got from I think the UK version. As you see, it's actually got a star rarity down there. There's some Pokemon of the TFGs, I'm sorry, you'll find that have rarities down at the bottom. That means it's a foreign version, or just the non-American version, basically. So, yeah, not much to say about its pose. It's really just okay. It's just kind of sitting there chilling. It's got a good chunk of Razor Wind right here to do 70. That's pretty good. Kind of small area over here for Scratch, not so great. As we see, it's 2 movement points. A decent chunk of Dodge, it's like 16% or so. And then a 2-star purple double edge. Absol and the defending Pokemon are knocked out. So that is pretty good. It's decent. It's not amazing, but it's pretty good for fighting. I mean, you could pretty much send this thing up against anything and be pretty confident you're going to beat it, trading off with your Absol to take it out, so probably good strategy if anyone actually is playing the game. I'm just kind of covering these just because I feel like covering everything that's actually on these figures, because, I mean, hey, they were part of a board game, so it's kind of interesting to actually show those. This one spins really well on mine. This is a Dratini! It's one of the very few dragon Pokemon that were in the TFG. We have another one that's going to be showing up in the back there. We're going to see him in a bit. But little Dratini here is very quite little, as I just used the correct term to describe it. Its paint is really strange on mine in particular. I really want to get close so you guys can see that. There's my wrinkly fingers. There we go. So you can see there's like patches of like a not quite a skin tony pasty color on top of the purple. I don't know. It's really weird. It's really strange how this Dratini's colored. I've never seen it with patches of that tannish color on it. Well, it's interesting enough that it is still sitting on a semi-transparent water basin kind of thing. So, still pretty neat. This is another really difficult one to get because you would have to get it like Abra in one of the random packs or just from one of the lucky people online who actually found one and are willing to trade it to you. So, only way to really get the Dratini, take a look at the bottom. It's got a 2 movement pointer, a giant area down here of tail snap, which only does 30, so that really stinks. Has a little bit of miss, kind of stinks. Very tiny area right here of Dragon Rage, which for some reason is doing 80. If you play the Pokemon games, which I'm assuming you have, Dragon Rage is a move that always does 40 damage, but as you know, in the card games and stuff like that, they kind of botch a lot of the moves and let them do whatever they want, so it doesn't really matter. Push aside. This one says 2 stars. The defending Pokemon returns to the bench and has weight, so that is really good. So there's this chunk right here, about a 30% chance that this Dratini is going to come out on top. Other than that, not so great. A lot of the 2 movement pointer figures in this game are just kind of like, it's alright. It's alright. Nothing amazing about it. Now, I feel really stupid because Eevee here, I almost completely forgot about when I was going to start this video. I was looking back down here like, that's not quite right, something's not right. And I had to go check the list and go, oh my gosh, I completely forgot to review Eevee. So here we go, Eevee, one of the other rares. Eevee is really not that difficult to get. You can actually get it several different ways. Actually, I think it was in some of the multi-packs you could get Eevees. I've got like 3 actually, that's why I don't think it's that rare at all, but it is a rare, technically, in the star value at the bottom. If this one even... Nope, this one's an American one. So, really not that difficult one to get, so if you just wanted a couple of these TFG figures, Eevee is a pretty easy one to come by, so that is pretty cool. I might even shiny paint one of mine that I've got. So, pretty interesting pose too, by the way. It's like this triumphant Eevee, preparing to go into battle with many tackles and cute charms, or whatever it's actually going to do. It's like pointing its old paw out, I'ma get you, I'ma get you. Yeah, that little fluffy fox thing is so gonna get you. Really detailed rocks that it's standing on, by the way. So, anyway, let's take a look at the bottom. It is a 3 movement pointer, so this sucker is fast. It's got tackles on either side. Let's just look at those. This one here does 20. This one does 30, so pretty low. Before we get to that big attack over there, we have 2 pretty large dodge regions, which is nice, and a small area of miss. The other side says focus energy. Spin until, I'm sorry, there's a bit of a glare. Spin until you get a result other than focus energy. If that result does damage, double it. So basically the only way to get the tackles to really do anything, but granted, once you hit focus energy, you have another chance of hitting that miss. It's probably not amazing, and also you could hit one of the dodges too, which would kind of waste your time. So even with the focus energy, it's not that powerful. Your best at dealing damage here can get you up to a 60, which is decent. It's not amazing, but Eevee is still pretty fast, so you can probably get somewhere with it. Like I said, I kind of think that Abra is one of the best 3-pointers. Here we got another rare that is pretty easy to come by, so that's okay, pretty cool. Though I've heard a lot of these Meowths were sculpted with this leg popping off a lot. So fortunately, none of mine do that, and I think by none of mine I have 2 of them. Not entirely sure, just because he's white, his face is kind of blowing out a little bit there on the camera. There we go, now it's picking up. He's actually a beige color, not really white. So that's kind of nice to see that they're spending a lot of time in the details, because they do airbrush these for some shading, and all of the TFG figures are hand painted, so it's really incredible how much detail we're going to get in these things. So really interesting how it's able to stand like this. I mean, it feels weird when you actually spin it, because it looks like the whole thing's just going to fall apart, but it doesn't, so it's pretty nice. Unless, of course, you got your leg falling off on yours, that would really stink. I really like how the tail just comes out really far over the rest of the figure. It's just kind of nice. Attack-wise, this sucker only has 2 movement points, a little bit of a miss region, pretty decent-sized dodge. It's probably about what Eevee's got over there doubled together. Scratch, very large region of scratch, which only does 30, so we're not looking so hot so far. And Fake Out, 1-star purple, switch Meowth, and the defending Pokemon. So that's pretty good. You want to try and force your way to the opponent's goal. This is basically, with 2 movement points, like an extremely inferior Abra. But like I said, Meowth is not that hard to get. I didn't really tell you how to get him yet. If you got the, I believe it's the Riptide set. No, I'm sorry, not the Riptide. Is it Riptide? Crap. It's one of the main starter sets you get with the Charizard for Alligator, Murkrow, Pikachu, and Trico. Yeah, those sets. So Meowth would be another one of those really easy figures to come by. Lots of people have him. You're probably not gonna have any problem finding one. In fact, you're just gonna get handed some just by buying lots and stuff. Same for this one over here, Murkrow. I believe I actually just said Murkrow in that list. This one I feel for sure was in the Riptide set. He might have been in Flamethrower now that I think about it. I think he was in Flamethrower, because you got Charizard, Meowth, Trico, and Trainer Red. The other one got Murkrow, Pikachu, Feraligatr, and Brendan. Yeah, that guy. So now that we've gotten all that straightened out, here is Murkrow here, so the dark flying Pokemon. Mine's got a couple of nicks on it. Obviously, this one came from a lot of an eBay bid of some sort. It's actually been a very long time from the very first ones I've gotten, so I really don't remember what I got him for. He's in an interesting pose, nothing really spectacular. It's kind of a bummer that the more common rares are just not very interesting compared to some of the other ones. Or maybe that's just my opinion, because I think that Abra back there and Skarmory and Salamence are some of the coolest ones, but whatever. Uh-oh. Feel Yawn coming on. Oh, go away, Yawn! Ah, I yelled at it and it went away. Woo! Okay, it's still kind of hanging in there. No, it's gone. Okay, cool. So, that's pretty much it on Murkrow. He's just gonna stand in there like, I don't know what I'm doing. Am I standing? Am I flying? Am I pointing at something? I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. So, 3 movement points. Dark type yet again. Peck, 10 damage. That is horrible. A miss. A little bit of miss. Surprise. Oh, okay. I guess that's different than Fake Out. Only does 20 damage. And that is just atrocious. I just want to look at that, all of that space right there. So there's only like a 30% chance that this thing is not going to just die to pretty much anything. And it gives out for a little bit of purple for Whirlwind. The defending Pokemon returns to the bench and has weight. So this is actually an inferior version of Meowth. So that is pretty bad. Except its purple area is a little bit better, but really not much. This is probably the worst fighting rare Pokemon figure that we've seen so far in the TFG, so kind of a bummer. If they were going to give you better rares, they probably should have handed out the Abra. The Salamence I know is really good, and yeah, might as well just take a look at him right now that I'm talking about him, because he is next, by the way. Salamence, look at this one. So, all you fans out there who don't really want to get into a ton of TFGs and just want like a couple of the cool ones, well, guess what? This Salamence is actually pretty easy to find. So, that would be a pretty cool one to find if you just wanted a really cool Salamence figure. Really not so bad to find him. He is in some of those 3-packs you'll find like what Eevee was with. He might even be sold by himself in an individual one. Actually, I kind of think Eevee was as well. I know Absol was for sure, but Salamence might too. Thing is, he's kind of everywhere. I think I have 4 of him. Probably going to shiny paint one at one point, but who knows yet. So he looks really nice. I really like this pose of his. I always thought Salamance's anatomy was a little bit unusual, because he has like these wings that just don't really make any sense, and his body's just abnormally fat for needing to fly so much. But when he's in this pose, for some reason, I feel like since he's coiling around the mountain and everything, I don't know, he just looks so much cooler than any other image I've seen him in. He's just really, really cool in this one. It's like a mountain dragon. It's just amazing. The detail on the cliff he's standing on are just phenomenal as well. It's just awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome figure. So let's take a look at what he does. Unfortunately, he's only a 1 movement pointer, though, as you see with this massive white that we cannot even completely fit on screen, it is so huge. 70 damage from Dragon Breath. That is crazy. The other options, he's got very little bit of miss, and a 3-star purple, Fly Away. Salamence jumps over the defending Pokemon if possible. Yeah, so almost the only way to beat this guy is either to overpower his 70, which is probably going to happen, or hit him while he misses. There's like no other way to stop this thing. Incredible. Only downside, he's just a 1 movement pointer, but of course that's because he's a little on the OP side when it comes to attacking, so really cool one if you'd like to fight with your friends, if you actually want to play this game, try and bring it back, let's do it, or, you know, just collecting the figures, because he really does look awesome, so it's a really great TFG figure. I just totally messed up whatever was going on back there. Sorry about that, Skarmory. I'm going to pull you up next, anywho. There you are. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This one is incredible. I'm not so sure about the pose that they chose for the Skarmory, but whatever, not going to complain. It's still pretty nice to see that he's in something kind of dynamic. The only thing I'm not loving completely about it is there's no one angle that makes him look fantastic. A lot of the TFGs, kind of like how I was just spinning Salamence, and some of the other ones, they look really good from all angles. Some of them are just a little peculiar, like this Skarmory here. Something that's really a problem with the Skarmory, if you're trying to find one, because he is also one of the rarest ones to find. Him, like, let's see, Dratini, the trainers who we didn't get to yet, and Abra are extremely hard to get because they have to be found in those random packs. So if you're just starting with the next quest set, guys, it's probably a good idea to buy those random packs, because if you score one of these, then you save yourself so much trouble in the long run, because the other ones, you will just find them, it'll just happen. You really need to go for the hard ones first. And this Skarmory, wow, was a hard one. Especially with this clear plastic stick. If you've seen my video on fixing broken TFGs, this breaks a lot, especially on the Ho-Ohs, because the Ho-Oh is much more common. The thing is, this is on one of the rarest figures in the TFG, so, well, the next quest set. And this is just ridiculous, because if that thing breaks, you're really out of luck with fixing your Skarmory. I've seen some where people have actually botched their Skarmory completely trying to fix it, and he's like on the completely wrong angle or something silly like that. So he is in a metallic paint. I know I'm talking about him a lot, but I just really love this one. It's in a really cool metallic paint. They did paint the red in his wings underneath, as we see here. Also, there's a little bit of red in his mouth and yellow in his eyes. Really nice. I like how there's a different gray for his neck, tail, and these little talons he's got. Really nice, nice one. So I'm super glad mine actually came in unbroken, so I'm really glad about that. Let's take a look at what he does down here. Kind of hard to see with his wing there. He's a 2-movement pointer, and steel type. Air Cutter does 50 damage, that's pretty good. Steel Wing back here, 80 damage, that's really good. Air Cutter again, but it only does 30. Yeah, I guess they forgot to do their math. I'm just kidding. They like to do multiple attacks on here that, I guess, double up or whatever, I don't know. But that one only does 30. And Fly Away, a 3-star purple. Skarmory jumps over the defending Pokemon if possible. Wow, it's the same as Salamence, and I believe a couple other ones we've just been seeing. So the only real way to stop the Skarmory is to overpower it when it's using its weaker Air Cutter, because 50 and 80 are pretty strong. 50 you can probably overpower, but 80 is kind of hard to beat. That's a really good TFG figure. So even though it's just 2 movement points, it is a really efficient one. Why is it that the rarest ones have to be the really good ones in the battle? I don't know. So, as you can see, the last 2 are not actually Pokemon. They are gym leaders. This is Brock, as we know from the TV show and video games. except from the video game, obviously, as we see, Brock is not shirtless as he was in Pokemon Red, Blue, Green, yada. Actually, I don't know about the remakes. I don't know if he was still shirtless in the remakes. Some of the dust in these figures, I keep brushing away at the bottom, just letting you know what's going on. Some of the dust is like extremely hard to get out unless you've got like Q-tips or something. But yeah, anyway, fortunately Brock is being nice to us today and wearing a shirt, and he's just contemplating something. Contemplating if he should actually give Ash the badge because he decided to hack into his sprinkler system and kill his Onix. I wouldn't do it, Brock. You probably shouldn't do it. But anyway, he's in a pretty nice looking pose. I really like how detailed his paint is as well. My Brock was kind of a tough one to find as well, but every once in a while they will pop up on eBay, so just be patient. These do pop up just as often as like the Skarmory and the Abra, but the thing is, those tend to stay in hiding a little bit longer for some reason, at least it was for me. The gym leaders, though, do pop up, and I don't know why. But still not nearly as often as some of the other figures you're going to find. So, compared to the other trainer figures that we've seen in the set, they have a success region and an equally sized miss region. Every trainer has the same miss and success as far as I know, but as you see, because this is a gym leader, for some reason, he has this mysterious blue ring around the success. Doesn't go all the way around, and it's also a little bit farther than Misty's, who we're going to take a look at in a bit, and it's a little different from some of the other gym leaders in the other sets, and I have no idea what it does. I don't think anybody knows what it does. If you have any idea what you think it knows what it does, let me know in the comments, because I'm really, really curious. Maybe that's what Brock's contemplating there. I don't know. But anyway, that's a pretty cool one. I really like how they made some of the gym leaders for the set. Here's the next gym leader, is Misty. And I think she actually is dressed the way she is in the video games, so that's kind of interesting that they would dress her in her swimsuit, but Brock has to wear a shirt. Whatever, I don't really care. It's a really interesting figure. I really like this one. I like the extra tuff of color that matches the shoes. It's just an interesting design, this one. I just noticed that the back is open too. That's kind of weird. So she's also standing up pretty well. Man, that dust is just kind of driving me nuts. You know, once you start picking these things up, you're like, man, I just realized how impossible these things are to dust. Well, as we see, that is definitely Misty. She shows up about as often as Brock does. Like I said, the only way to get these trainer gym leader figures is to buy the random packs. So if you start scoring the gym leaders, the Dratini, Skarmory, Abra, I know I'm saying it a lot, but seriously guys, they are the hardest ones to get. If you want to start collecting the next quest set, this is how you do it. You buy the random packs. So as we see here, her success does not go quite as far as Brock's does. I don't need to hold it up, you'll believe me. And no idea what that means. No idea what that means. Especially because Brock being the first gym leader, you'd think he would be the most inferior or something if they were actually going to be, if that had some sort of competitive meaning, but I don't really know. It doesn't as far as I know. So that is it for the next quest set. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm really glad I finally was able to complete this set. Man, they look really nice all together, and if you guys are out there trying to collect your own set, I hope my videos have given you a hand in doing so. I am going to go through the rest of the TFG sets, hoping to find them all. It would be really amazing, especially to document them all on YouTube the way I am right now. So, like I said, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the videos, leave a like and a comment, and I will see you all in the next Pokemon TFG figure review.